Hello, and welcome to a game of Ice and Fire. When last we left off, the party spent 2 weeks in preparation for their imminent tour of Westeros. Martan learned more about his sister's gifts, and specifics about his own Dornish heritage. Thali spent time training his hawk in some new skills. Badru and Raduva practiced with their blades in the training yard, convincing Thali to join in, though he may regret that decision. The household benefited from the decision of the council to find work and homes for the rescued slaves, and when it was finally time to depart, the party said their farewells and boarded the Grey Swallow for the short voyage to Sunspear. Along the way, Badru learned some of the history of Dorne, the story of Nymeria and her 10,000 ships, and of her marriage to a Martell prince and their conquest of Dorne. On the morning of the third day of travel, Raduva is the first to see the glimmer of sunlight reflecting from the distant spear tower.
He's clicking
All
stuff.
right. How are you guys doing?
I don't know. How are
Doing
you?
well, thank you.
All right.
We sure are doing.
I have just done the little intro, and now I'll kind of get everyone in. Martan. On the second night of your journey, you lay in your hammock as the sea gently rocks back and forth. You feel the ship crest a wave, and as it descends, you feel a brief weightlessness and jerk to catch yourself as you spill from your hammock. But no floor is there to greet you. When you open your eyes, there is nothing around you but a gray mist swirling endlessly. You still feel as though you are falling, like you have been falling for years. Fly, a voice whispers in the darkness. You are falling, not flying. The air is moving quickly around you now. And as you look below, you can see the world rushing up to meet you, still very far away, thousands of miles away, but getting closer all the time. This must be a dream. And in dreams, no matter how long you fall, you always wake up before you hit the ground. If you don't, the voice asks. The ground is closer now. There is no sun and no stars around you, only the ground coming up to smash you, and the gray mists and the whispering voice. Martan, what do you do?
I don't know. I look forward, not down. Look
Alright.
forward.
All right, make an awareness test for me.
Just basic awareness.
Notice if you have any bonus dice in it.
I don't think I do. I don't. 7.
All right.
7.
As you look around, there really, you don't notice much other than the swirling mists, but as you kind of lift your gaze up, you notice a crow spiraling down with you, just out of reach, that seems to be following you as you fall.
I reach out to it.
You reach out towards it. It is still kind of flapping out of arm's reach. It is watching you, and as you reach out towards it, it gives you a caw and screams, "Fly!"
I don't know how to fly.
Do you have any corn? Make a will test.
Instinctively reach into my pockets.
Okay, make a will test for me.
21.
21.
Yes.
Okay. You reach into your pocket and you come out with a fistful of corn. This is just bursting from your fingers. And you hold this out, and as you do, the crow lands on your arms and starts to eat.
Okay. How do I fly?
I'm trying to teach you. And he jumps up and starts flying alongside you again. As you look down and see the earth rushing up again, you see more detail now as the earth is getting closer. The many islands of the broken arm of Dorne spread out beneath you, and you can recognize, based on the maps that you've seen, you recognize Skrel and Arlen and Bloodstone. Looking closer at Skrel Castle, you can see your mother is already sleeping soundly. Your father is looking over old books in its solar. And your sister has a small candle lit in her room, and she is peering at something dark in the corner. It's a moment before you recognize the glass candle, and as she approaches it, her hand reaches out lightly and grazes the top, and her arm jerks back. You see blood trickle down her fingers. Fly! You must fly or die!
I look down at Lorena and focus on her and just not like flapping my arms, but like tighten up all the muscles in my body and like straighten myself.
This is a very difficult test. You need a 21. It's a will test.
Right.
Now, you will have a few attempts at it, but only a few. You can use any bonus dice, glory points, any of your other means necessary. but it is a will test, and you need a 21.
Boy, 21 on the dot.
You hit it, 21 on the
65442.
dot. Let me see that.
65442. That is 21, right? Yes, it is. It is.
65442.
Yeah.
All right, that's right on the money. We'll take it. The world is getting much closer now, and many details become clearer. You see the gray swallow cresting waves in a black sea, while just ahead lies the mouth of the Greenblood and the sprawling city of Sunspear, its two great towers jutting from the land. North of that, you see the charred ruins of a great palace, with sad songs drifting through its empty halls. Farther north, by the sea, another great city rises from the earth, the walls of its keep as red as blood. North and north again along the road, you see a great host, led by a great horned lord, with two twin suns floating around him. North, north, north. The giant crystalline wall spreads out before you, and you move past it. There is a village below, surrounding a great white tree. Its gaping mouth hangs open, and blood is streaming from its eyes when it looks up at you, knowingly, and seems to reach out towards you with long, bone-white arms, hands covered in blood. Looking farther north, past the screaming cold winds and barren lands to the curtain of light at the end of the world, and then beyond that curtain, the heart of winter. The crow looks at you and says, "Now you see! Now you see why you have to live! There are so many pieces to put together, so many secrets, some written ink, others in blood. Look to the trees. The riddle of the Sphinx is not what you think." Looking now at its face, you see the crow has 3 eyes, its third burning with a terrible knowledge. It screams towards you as you descend, with nothing below but snow and cold and death. A frozen wasteland where jagged, blue-white spires of ice wait to embrace you, flying up at you like spears. You see the bones of 1,000 other dreamers impaled upon their points. "Now," the crow screams, "now, Martan, choose! Fly or die!" And in that last instant, as the ice spires are reaching out towards you, begin to glide across their tops and out across the world, over the seas, back over the wall, over the great green lands, and down into the oceans below. And the crow is following you all throughout, and as you crest over the seas back across Dorne, it looks at you and paws one more time, leaping at your face and scrabbling at you, pecking at your forehead. And when you open your eyes, you're in your hammock in the Grey Swallow. And you see the first light of morning coming through the slats.
All right.
Raduva. This morning, you are on deck, and with your far eyes, you are the first to notice a glint in the distance, where you are expecting there to be a shoreline. And as you all get closer, that single point of shining light becomes the tip of a great spear that seems to be jutting from the sea. As you approach the great castle of Sunspear with its 3 winding walls, one behind the other, and the great shadow city spread out in front of you. Many other cogs and galleys, fishing boats and pleasure barges are also out on the sea. Sunspear itself is surrounded on 3 sides by the sea, and the Shadow City on the 4th. The Shadow City itself is no true city, but more of a queer, dusty town that has been built against the outermost winding wall. Closest to the wall are mud brick shops and windowless hovels. Stables, inns, wine sinks, and pillow houses are found west of those, with walls of their own. And then more hovels have been built against those walls, which has led to the city becoming a labyrinth of narrow alleys, homes, and bazaars. Your path will lie through the now bustling port, up the short road to the threefold gate, where the gates of the 3 winding walls are lined up one behind the other on a brick path to the old palace. But this is the final morning. You guys are gliding into shore and are about to land at port. Is there anything that anyone wants to do as we make our final little bit of the trip?
Not that I can think of.
Right. Landing at the port is fairly easy. You are able to depart the Grey Swallow with your belongings, all of your, any horses, all of that you brought with you, packs. It is discussed that you guys will leave the ship here at port. The plan is that you guys will be here for a time and then will depart ultimately for Old Town, taking the sea route, and then once you reach Old Town, sending the Grey Swallow back to Skrel Island. Those plans can change, but that's kind of how things stand right now. The Grey Swallow will stay at port, but you guys are kind of taking all of your belongings in with you. The smells of the city are rich. Dorne is known for its spicy foods, so the port bustling with activity. There are merchants from all over the free cities that have brought silks and textiles, but there are spices, saffron, cinnamon, cloves on display at the markets. It is a bustling morning at port. You make your way up the...
Oh, my freaking camera.
Yep. Hey,
Hey.
the
Try and be aware of
the road that takes you through the winding walls up to the old palace is a brick road. The old palace is the seat of House Martell, and it includes the Tower of the Sun, which you saw on your way in. Like Josh may be frozen in the drinking position again. The Spear Tower is the massive 150-foot tall tower of stone that you saw, with another 30 feet of gilded steel jutting out of the top of that, or past that. And I'll go ahead and just press this button and have the stream see the towers. There it is. And beside that is the Tower of the Sun, which has a dome of gold and leaded glass. And it is this Tower of the Sun that you are headed towards. So you make your way up the path through the threefold gate and up to this Tower of the Sun. You see the dome of gold kind of shining the path before you. And are able to make your way inside the palace, make introductions, and you are ushered quickly into the Great Hall, the throne room. And in here, the floors are made of a pale marble. There are 2 seats on a dais that are near twins to one another, the only difference being that one is inlaid with a Martell spear on its back, the other features the blazing Rhoynish sun that flew from the masts of Nymeria's ships. And the hall itself is full of activity. There are lots of people with various levels of attire. There are nobles, there are pages, there are knights, squires. This is a normal day at court, so presiding over the events is Prince Doran Martell. So on the spear seat on this dais, you see for the first time Prince Doran Martell. Let's see. He looks to be in his early 50s, but he may be a little bit older than that. He's got olive skin, dark eyes, shoulder-length hair, mostly gone to gray. His body, what you can see of it, is soft and shapeless, and you can see only his hands and his face. His hands are reddened and swollen at the joints from his gout. His legs and feet are covered in a long embroidered blanket. Standing beside him, you see his faithful servant and the captain of his household guard, Ario Hota. He is a broad-shouldered man with white hair, armed in a shirt of copper scales, with a billowing cloak of dun and yellow sand silk, and a Norvoshi half-helm wrapped in orange silk. And in his right hand is a long axe with a shaft 6 feet long, the blade of fine gilded steel, long and deadly. I actually have artwork for this too. Go ahead and... There we go. Throne room art. And then below the dais, you notice a man who can only be Prince Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper of Dorne. Tall, slender, graceful, and fit, he has a lined and saturnine face with thin eyebrows, black eyes, and a sharp nose. His hair is lustrous and black, with only a few silver streaks, and recedes from his brow in a widow's peak. He is wearing an armored shirt of overlapping rows of glittering copper discs, has a high gilded helm with a copper sun on its brow beneath his arm. The round steel shield slung across his back is brightly polished and displays the Martell sun and spear in red gold, yellow gold, white gold, and copper. And near Prince Oberyn, you see a woman in her early 20s, buxom and beautiful, with olive skin, large dark eyes, and long, thick black hair that falls in ringlets to the middle of her back. These all look to be relatives, so you assume the members of House Martell as well. Around the room, you see, like I said, you see some people in the purple and lemons of the Lemonwood, House Dalt. You see the sigils of House Blackmont and House Manwoody. And at the center of the events, there is a man that is wearing this, the purple livery with the lemons covering it. And he seems to be presenting a case to Prince Doran. You can kind of make out what he's talking about, but there is a lot of, hubbub of people talking around you as well. Upon entering the hall with your retinue, a herald comes up and approaches the lot of you. Yes, who are all of you? What is your business here at Tower of the Sun today? Looks to
I step forward. Martin Skrel of House Skrel.
Martan of House Skrel? Yes, what is your business?
A brief audience with the prince.
Right, introductions to be sure. Is there anything special you'd like me to say when announcing you? Martan of House Skrel?
I kind of look around real quick to everybody and just...
I bumped Nicholas to make
No.
sure that he's doing it right.
Nicholas, as a note, when you bump Nicholas, he rattles. And then you're right, wearing his chainmail now. That's right, he got his chainmail on underneath his gray clothes. And Nicholas steps forward and says, we just request an audience with Prince Doran and wish to make our introduction. We have young Lord Martan of House Skrel here, and then we also have a knightly retinue. We have Sir Merrick Sand, late of your Sunspear guard, if I recall, and then Sir Darren Forloren, also of Dorne. And they both step forward and step back. And Harold says, as soon as the business here is, I will go ahead and instructions made. Thank you. And then he kind of waves down a page and has some Dornish wine and bread brought over to the group. Drink. While he goes and prepares to make his introduction to Doran. At this point, in listening to what is going on in the hall, you gather that the person presenting the case is a Sir Desiel Dalt, and he is the Knight of Lemonwood, which is a place. It's a castle not too far from Sunspear. It's a little to the south, near the Planky town. And the rulers of this place are not lords; they are simply landed knights, a little bit less powerful. So Sir Deziel Dalt, the Knight of Lemonwood, is the ruler of this. And he is seems to be discussing an issue with some brigands that had been causing trouble on his lands that were just bothering peasants and merchants, but have recently started to cause trouble for the nobles and for envoys from the free cities. And he is asking Prince Doran for support in while he is making that case. Looking around the room, anyone who wants to can give me an awareness note.
I like awareness notice tests.
Hey, that's really bad. Also 6.
5, 6,
18.
Yay! All right, 5 and 6. That is very, very average.
Okay, I'm okay with being average.
In looking around the room, you recognize some of the sigils that you see. Thali and Martan, you certainly recognize a couple of the sigils. Badru, this entire court setting is pretty unfamiliar to you. This is
entirely too many clothes.
Pretty, yeah. There's a lot of nice clothes in here. Nobody is bleeding, dying, and seems to be altogether pretty civil. Yeah, not what you're used to at all in proximity to the powerful people that you know.
Culture shock, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, this is all very new to you, and Raduva. In what you know about the families, and what you know about just kind of the politics of Dorne. Looking around the room, the people that you notice, the families that you're noticing, tend to be the houses that are close by for the most part. You're noticing, you're not seeing houses from the far reaches of Dorne. You're seeing mostly people from close by. Yeah. As far as the immediate family is concerned, you know, and especially since you have had discussions about Prince Oberyn Martell specifically, you know that with his travels, he has fathered 8 bastards that at least he has acknowledged and raised in Dorne. 4 of whom were fathered on various women across the world. And then the most recent 4 were fathered on the same woman, Ilaria Sand. In looking around the room, you see someone who fits the description of this Ilaria Sand, and near them, you notice 7 other women seem to be. It would be likely that they are his daughters. Most share some aspect of their father. You notice a widow's peak on one. You notice the eyes on another. But they are all very different from one another too. Yeah, you remember that he has 8 bastard daughters, the sand snakes as they are known. 7 of which appear to be here. Right. And as part of the Okay. You also overhear the conversation between Sir Desiel and Prince Doran as it winds up. And Prince Doran agrees to send 20 of the City Watch to help deal with this, but he is only going to send them for a few weeks, and then he is back. Sir Desiel reluctantly agrees to this. He seems like he needs more men or for longer because he doesn't know where these people are. But he reluctantly agrees and leaves the floor of the hall. And at this point, the herald that you met goes to announce, Lords and ladies of the hall, may I have the pleasure to present to you Martan of House Skrel and his retinue that includes Sir Merrick Sand and Sir Darren Forloren, both of Dorne. And
This dude with that voice fucks.
We must have used the app because we skipped the line.
And Prince Doran waves you all forward, and his eyes fix on you, Martan, picking you out of the crowd as
That's
all
good.
of you step forward. And you are able to enter the center of the hall and yourselves. It is customary, of course, to bow before the prince.
Bow, yeah.
So as
Yeah,
you get
that's it.
there.
Bow, 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 bow.
Polite bow.
Bow, wow. Bow, wow. Bow.
Martan of House Skrel.
Nope.
Good to finally meet you.
You get another shot.
My prince,
Fucking
I assure you the pleasure is all mine.
amazing.
That's so good.
Yes, well. It's been some time since we have had word from Skrel Island. Lady Bright, have they held up their taxes? And he looks over, and at a
Wait, what
table you see seated with what appears to be a maester and a maester's chain. You see a woman, middle-aged, keeping a ledger, and he makes a brief check and says, "Oh, they have been quite on time. Everything, Lord."
It's a lady maester?
No. Sorry, she's at a
okay.
table with a maester.
Okay.
He is keeping notes.
Her name was
He is not a
Lady-
maester. There is
Lady
no
Bright?
lady maesters. They ain't no lady maesters. Yes,
Ain't
and
no
her
lady
name
maesters.
her name is Lady
Lady?
Bright.
Lady Bright.
Lady
Wait.
Alice Lady Bright is her name.
Oh my god.
Lady Bright. I did not actually make that connection until I had to read it just then, and I was like, Lady Bright.
Ladies.
Yes. She is, and at that name, Martan, you recognize her as the treasurer of House Martell.
Okay.
So she reports that, yes, in fact, House Skrel has kept up their duty, their taxes. And Prince Doran's gaze falls back on you and says, "The last time a Skrel was here, it was your father. For us his loyalty and denied us his ships."
Wah, wah.
So, Martan of House Skrel,
Nobody
are you
loves
your
us.
father's son?
If by my father's son you would imply I would renege on an agreement of support, then no. We have recently been making amends for that failure in the past. Our first, of course, was to try to restore the bonds between ourselves and Lord Cameron Tide. That task was not easy, but our houses are now closer. Both my father and I thought it prudent to come here to Sunspear and to pronounce our dedication to yourself, Prince, and to the Martells, and to show our support.
Well, I suppose late is better than not at all. We were late to the War of the Usurper. My uncle died at the Battle of the Trident. Died a prince. Died fighting a Vale Lord. My sister. Her children. Sure you've heard their story.
I kind of looked down at the ground and... Yes, my prince, it is a tale that has spread, and my sincerest condolences.
Condolences. We have had those.
I know. It means very little, I understand. But we did. Lord Camerantide lost his sons, and we worked to rectify those wrongs. House Martell will do everything we can. House Skrel will do everything we can for the Martells to, and I just get a little flustered.
Okay. Make a persuasion test for him. He's a tough opponent.
7.
7. Your words seem to fall on deaf ears as the thoughts of what happened almost 20 years ago back to Prince Doran on the dais. And Raduva, you, in keeping your eyes peeled, notice that Prince Oberyn's grip on his spear gets tighter as well. The discussion drifting to what happened all those years ago.
Can I read target?
What's that?
Can I read target?
You may attempt to read target, yes. To do that, you will need to make an awareness test and beat passive deception.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. 7.
Deception is not as high as his others, but it's still... What'd you get?
7.
7. Not enough to see quite what's going on behind the mask that you're putting forward.
What is passive deception?
So the way that passive numbers are calculated is it's 4 times the ability rank. So whatever his ability is times 4, that's your DC.
Times 4. Christ.
It's high. It's not unreachable, and if anyone else would like to attempt to do that,
And that's pretty much the only like intrigue option you can do without actually talking.
yeah, you could attempt to assist as well. You would be making a persuasion test. You need to beat a 9, which
that ain't
I
me.
think everybody except Martan has a 2 in persuasion.
Sure do.
And
I have a
Martan
3.
has.
Whoa!
You have a 3 in persuasion?
No, I have a 3 in awareness.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you would need to beat a 9, which anyone can try to do this. To assist Martan. The persuasion roll that he's making right now is not going to be the big one.
Right.
This is just a kind of, well, that one's not the big one because, but if anyone wants to assist, you can attempt to assist by making a persuasion test. If you beat a 9, you'll be able to add half of your rank to his score, which would be a 1 for everyone. So you can try to do that. If you get a 9, you can add a 1. If you don't, harm no foul. Read target is another option. This will not be any sort of drawn out or long intrigue, so you won't really need to worry about mollifying or anything like that. However, if you wanted to try and get other people to also assist, try that route, you look at the people around you, see if there's anybody else that might be able to help.
I think the two people who know how to help kind of get the drift, right?
Yeah.
I have. Sorry, go ahead, Colin.
I would also like to read target on our prince here.
All right, go ahead and make your roll.
Since I'm here. 17.
A 17 will succeed.
Boom.
Just barely.
You got a four,
You,
got a four.
you needed a 16. Yep.
I'll take that.
Okay, so you learn that Prince Doran's disposition towards the group is dislike.
Mhm.
So that is that will impose a -2 on any persuasion attempt towards him.
Mhm.
For the purposes of this, I assume that you are trying to improve your standing here, trying to improve your relations here. Is there any other goal with this conversation other than trying to improve your standings here?
I wasn't aware that we were gonna go straight to the big man.
Okay, sorry.
Assuming that we knew that, we would have brought something other than our dicks in our hands.
For sure.
Some sort of gift, yeah.
Yeah.
So can we role play that? Like,
Yes, we can roll it back and get a gift ready if you would like.
In
Yes,
this flashback, we're talking about.
we're gonna we can play a little fast and loose
Okay.
with some time. I am trying to
definitely-
get to the big beats, so I apologize if I move
good.
too quickly.
You're good.
yeah.
Yes, we absolutely.
I feel like anything could help at this point. Any ideas what we can get him?
I don't fucking know. I know nothing about this man. He's too rich for my blood.
Well, you know he's a prince. He suffers from gout.
Mhm.
Know that
lemon
he's
juice is
got
really good for gout.
some.
That's scurvy.
Listen, Raduva's advice is always going to be alcohol. Get him a nice bottle of something and call it a day.
I mean, we specifically mentioned leaving the glass candle on Skrel Island.
We sure did.
Sure did.
Like, we were asked about it specifically, and we specifically said, nah, we're not taking it.
Leave that shit.
That
Or
gout-ridden
else-
asshole is not getting Michael
Two
dragging
of
the
them.
candle.
I'm just saying.
Listen, Martan is still 13, all right? He's not giving up the fancy
Yeah,
last
of course.
name.
No, it makes total sense.
Martan is still 14. He's not.
Just thinking of the nicest
Yeah,
gifts
14,
that we
yeah,
could have
14.
gotten this man. Yes, 14.
Yeah,
I have a
some
set
other
of 5
things-
throwing knives.
Don't.
4 American dollars.
Yeah, that exchange rate for that's pretty good. I hear.
Mm-hmm.
And Dorne.
Dorne, yeah.
I literally don't have anything. The background of my character.
The former slave has nothing. Big surprise.
I say shocking.
Yeah, what'd you guys do with all that money you had?
We gave it to we spread the wealth.
If I
We
remember
gave it
correctly, we threw it at poor people.
we gave it to a group of people who had been
Pelted them with
displaced.
coin.
There was some money pelted at poor people.
You can't just
At one
throw
point, yes.
ancient coins at me.
That was different.
There's like 300 gold, and didn't your dad give you some more gold for the trip?
I don't fucking know.
That money's gonna last us the whole trip.
Bro,
We gotta be
or
real
our
careful.
heads aren't gonna
This
be.
is the whole trip, turns out.
In lieu of a material gift, because that feels a little
So money probably
out of our
won't go very
ass.
far.
Yeah,
Don't have a lot
money
of-
is out of the question.
Stuff.
Maybe,
Raduva is going to kind of lean down and
Prince Doran,
nudge.
while you did just get that nice horse, Prince Doran's probably not much of a horse rider.
Probably not much of a horse
No,
rider.
probably not.
Probably, even if he was, has money for a better horse.
Pretty good
Yeah.
horse.
What do you get for the man who already has everything? Say
Raduva
for,
kind of
you know.
leans down to Martan's ear to kind of murmur.
Help with those brigands?
Right, yeah. So, if our goal here is in fact to repair relations with our prince, it may do well, in place of material gifts, to offer our services in the lightening of his load, so to speak, the removal of tasks or frustrations.
Yeah, let us. Yeah, Lemonwood.
As we are excellent at solving certain kinds of problems, it may behoove to offer our services in place of your father's to succeed where perhaps he failed.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
All in
Yeah.
favor, say aye.
To the Lemonwood.
And he kind of leans back and kind of like, leans back away from the group a little bit and turns to look across the way at Oberyn. And very, it does not like try to get his attention per se, but definitely like glances over at him and makes a face. It's like a sort of a, I don't know, what's the international symbol for, hey, I need to talk to you later?
The nod.
The-
nod
the-
Yeah, it's
Wink?
kind of like
Yep,
squint, squint and nod, maybe.
kind of a, gives him one of those
Nice.
in the hopes that he sort of notices, but
No, it
doesn't
turns-
make a big show of it. It's like
I
not the
actually
time, not the place. But
I have
yeah, if
some
there's a-
artwork for Prince Oberyn, so I'll pull that up too.
Would
Oh,
you
yeah.
say he looks
the
a
look,
bit like
the look
Pedro
that he
Pascal?
gives you back is pretty good. Here,
That's
so
all I can
small.
picture.
Mhm.
Just Pedro Pascal. Everything else has
Right.
been like out of my imagination, and here
Just- and then-
stands Pedro Pascal.
of all people.
Oh, that he looks a little
Blow up.
sultry, Drew. I don't know that he's
well,
not
I
trying
mean-
to seduce Raduva.
I mean, he kind of does
Wouldn't
do
have
that,
to try
right?
hard.
Like,
Dude, this little cut job
he's
that
sired.
you're doing.
I'm
Scream.
trying real hard, okay?
Yeah, I say you're not helping your case here.
God,
I feel thoroughly seduced, to be sure.
Yeah.
dude.
That's Prince Oberyn
Now just
Martell.
put Pedro Pascal's face on that, and I'm all in, baby.
Somebody make that edit. Yes, please.
Not a big thing, just
Yeah.
Okay. Make a persuasion test for him.
Well,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
side
So
quest failed
just,
before it even began. Yep. And yep. And yep, that is a 2.
Oof.
2. Okay.
Because
well, the look he
I have
gives
a
you
2 in
isn't quite this
persuasion,
one.
and also
Oh, that's right. You
a
have
flaw in persuasion.
You have a flaw.
Sure
Yes,
do.
and-
But maybe he
Got it.
does give him this look because maybe he misreads the signal and he's trying to
he
seduce
miss-
you now.
Right.
Well,
Full throttle.
Oh, prob's not. That's okay.
Amazing.
make another knowledge test because there's some more things to know about Prince Oberyn that might be relevant now.
I have a handful of not instruction. There was a time, feels like it's been years now, where I was given a thing to deliver to him from Lord Skrel. I was given a thing to deliver to somebody. I'm assuming it's Oberyn, because I don't remember anymore, and I didn't write it down.
Nice.
7. I was 7 on that knowledge test.
The gods
All
made
right.
this.
So
Yeah.
did you mean knowledge or did you mean awareness? Because,
Knowledge.
well, then yeah, that's a hot 7.
Yeah. Hot 7. All right. With that hot 7, yeah, you in kind of going over what you remember of Prince Oberyn, you remember, and you see him gripping that spear. You remember that he is widely knowledgeable. He forged, I think, 6 links of his Maester's Chain in just a few years before quitting. He formed a sellsword company in Essos, and fought in another
That's
one.
probably what Raduva was actually familiar with.
So yeah, but he also rumored to be bisexual.
Mhm.
To go there with a 7, you.
Yeah. I was gonna say.
This.
In fact, one of those rumored people is also in this. So. Yeah. All right. So you've had this brief discussion, and actually, we didn't even have to really rewind time to. Martan, did you want to then present this?
Problem solvers, baby.
Yes.
This meta discussion.
So, like, right after Raduva leans back, Thali's gonna lean over to Raduva and go, "If she were standing in the sun, she would be bright, lady bright." Just whispers it. Kind of leans back with a little side eye, grins at him. That's it.
Paige vomits in the corner for some reason.
And they're all, I assume, standing behind me, so I can't be like, hey, knock it off, you jackass.
I mean, you can be.
Raduva just smiles politely and, below the line of sight, sucks Thali in the leg.
Right, Martan?
That happens regularly on this show, by the way.
Yeah, that's definitely not the third time that's happened.
My prince, we do not bring you gold nor gifts to placate you, nor have we brought you only empty words. We have brought ourselves to use, to be of your service as you see fit. A task assigned by you is a task as good as done.
So you put your bodies on the line. That is
Thali nods. Like, Thali nods in the background when he says that.
Yeah, probably a stamp of the spear.
good. Tides lost children. We lost family. My sister died at the hands of the mountain. Raped her, cut her in half with his great sword. Not after smashing her child's brains and wall in front of her. The Skrels were absent, but now you offer bodies on the line. Except, turns out, we do have need of your life. Sir Dedziel Dalt brought us a problem. Perhaps you may sort it out.
As you wish, my prince.
Good. Have use of my city watch here. Cannot afford to lose them for long. May have need long and difficult. Sir Desiel, is this amenable to you? And Sir Desiel looks over at you and
At Ren and Stimpy.
yeah, people he
Abbott, Costello,
does
and
not
company.
know.
Who's on first?
And does a quick count in his head of the numbers and whatever my prince desires.
Oh, dear good.
So he's not happy about it.
He was
either.
not feeling
Great.
that. Oh,
He'll be
boy.
That's all right. We can. Sorry, we can work this crowd. The prince, not so much. The prince is a different.
Correct.
We're not on that level. But this jackass.
Yeah, we got
This
him all day
motherfucker.
long.
Quick, someone read target.
I'm gonna shoot the lemons off of his.
Off of his surcoat. Yeah, it's just it's a purple surcoat with just a lot of lemons all over it, just battered with lemons.
He looks stupid. That's my read on that target.
You don't even
Jesus.
have to make your own awareness search for that.
I
Yep.
hate that.
I mean, if you're amenable, I would actually like to read that target.
Yeah, I'll let you read that target.
I'm good at one thing and one thing only. Ooh,
Yeah, I
not
feel
this
that.
one though. That's a 9.
A 9, a 9 is what you needed.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
It's high in this
I'm
episode.
good at one thing.
Yeah, not quite as imposing a figure as Prince, so a little bit easier,
Fuck.
fortunately. Yes, his opinion of you watch as it goes from indifferent to dislike. You see it move
Watch that happen.
as this interaction happens, because he
Ren
has
and
no idea who you are, and now he has a reason to really care for you. So, yeah, you
Perfect.
witnessed that change
Mm.
happen. But he begrudgingly seems to accept your help. So, Martan, I am going to get you to make one big persuasion roll. I am going to allow anyone who wants to go ahead and try to assist and make their roll for that. And let me know if you get a 9. I'll go ahead and do it for the other members of the party.
And this is persuasion roll.
No. Yes.
Yeah, best I can do is
yeah,
6.
you
So
can't
I'm just
even-
gonna
you
sit
can't even
right
get
down.
there.
I'm just gonna fucking
Persuasion. Drew, I meant to ask. Ooh,
Yes.
nice.
A 12? Oh shit, that's
two
you got
sixes.
2 6s.
Yeah. Highest
Okay.
I can roll.
That's actually
But
even better.
storyline. I wouldn't. If you're making us actually speak, which is
No,
I
this
can support
is
another character's argument. I wouldn't have a leg to stand on. You know.
no. This is more just seeing how successful you are in bolstering your argument that Martan has just made.
All we gotta
so
do is
shredded you
stand
are.
there
So
and
you-
look.
Stand there and look imposing. Do you
Well,
look
for
scary?
Badru's a scary looking motherfucker,
Yeah.
and you guys just said we're gonna help you deal with this problem that involves probably fighting and killing folks. So Badru stamping his spear on the ground actually makes sense to have an impact in this argument.
All right, so that's a
Um,
+1.
Yeah, there you go. So there's a +1 from him. Your other allies all rolled shitty, so all of my rolls for your other companions were garbage, so they did not help you at all.
So Drew,
Okay.
I have 2 in persuasion, but I have ability 1 XP as opposed
So-
to specialty 1 XP.
Yeah, that gives you experience specifically to raise that ability up by 1.
Okay, I was trying to figure out what that meant.
That's what that.
Delightful. Okay, well I'm gonna roll my 2 little
Oh, I think-
boys.
Yeah,
Nope.
roll your 2 little boys. Nope.
I got the opposite roll of Justin.
Ooh.
that one of my rolls was a snake eyes as well.
God damn.
I turn around and am still surprised to see
Yeah.
Badru and Martan there.
So you have your persuasion. You have the +1 that Badru has given you, but nothing else. The read target ability, since it did succeed, you do get a bonus, or excuse me, a additional test dice on this roll, because he did successfully read the target. His disposition gives you a -2, so now it's a -1.
Is he pretty? He's from an allied. He's from an allied family, and he is attractive, from what I hear.
As well, you can use any. We're approaching the end of the session, so I will remind you that you can use glory points. You can spend glory points to give yourself bonus dice on a roll during a session. And Martan, from your dream, also have a bonus dice that can exceed the normal limit.
Ooh.
So, you have your additional test dice, you have a bonus dice, and then you have whatever else you wish to use. The modifiers after the disposition from Prince Doran and the +1 from Badru, it's just a -1.
So just minus one to the total.
A -1 to the total, and you are trying to beat a 17.
Don't tell me. Oh, fuck.
So it's a big roll.
Ooh, yeah. One of those has to a spear. 11. 16. 19.
19. All right. Success indeed.
6553.
All right. Excellent. At the
other dice was a 1.
Nicely done.
Classic.
So with all that has transpired, with your promise of putting your own body at risk to serve the house, after not having heard from your household for a long time with anything other than simple letters and the dues due to Prince, you can tell that he is considering you in a different light, and his disposition with the group is going to increase different.
Woo!
Now the
Nice.
group, yeah, and
Nice.
you are aware of that kind of change in overall demeanor. And that is about it for the actual meeting here. Anyone else has anything that they want to present to Prince? But other than that, he's about to just. I know Raduva had some other business to handle, but
But is trying to be very subtle about it.
very subtle about it. Yeah,
Very discreet, very not in the middle of court and everyone.
Yeah, I was wondering if Badru had
God in the eyes of
any,
man.
any thoughts about Oberyn, since you said he started a sellsword company in Essos. Is there any knowledge that I would have?
Okay, yeah, it is possible that you would know about that. Yeah, go ahead and make a knowledge test for me. That's okay, because this is much closer to home for you than it is for them.
An 8.
An 8. Okay, that's good. Yes. With an 8, you know that the sellsword company that he fought for is known as the Second Sons. It's a famous sellsword company in Essos that still exists. It is still, they still fight in the various.
S-O-N? S-U-N?
The second Owen, I think.
Hmm.
Cool.
It is always a play on words with him, though. So, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sunspear is S-O-N? Just checking.
Sunspear is S-U-N, as in the sun in the sky.
Got it.
But the second sons, as in the second-born son. Oberyn Martell, of course, is the second-born son of House Martell, so it works out. You also have heard rumors of the sellsword company that he started. You're having trouble exactly placing the name, but it was something like company or companions or something like that. Something along those lines. Yeah, company, companions. It was a couple different words. It wasn't just, but something along those lines. And you think that they are also still around. But yeah, Prince Oberyn, when he fought for those companies, was renowned as a great warrior, known to use poisons on his blades, but also studied many of the fighting styles. He raised various of his daughters with him. They also learned how to fight alongside of him. Wild and adventurous. All right. Well, at that, Prince Doran will dismiss you. Carry on with other business. His gaze lingering on Martan as they all depart. For assuming business. You are able to find your place amongst the hall. If there is anything that anyone wants to do, while at the palace. You will be set up with rooms here, at least for a brief while you are able to prepare. It is not not a long trip to Lemonwood. You won't travel very far. But it may be that you are out for a bit. You don't know how long you don't really know anything about what's been happening. Gotta find that out. Yeah, Raduva, did you want to do anything in the hall?
As the group kind of is shown to rooms, and we're sort of given the not like a tour, but as people start to kind of go their separate ways and are shown to different rooms, Raduva flags down a page or a somebody, not too important, but somebody that knows their way. Looks like they know what they're doing.
Okay.
And kind of, it flags them down. Hi, I'm a member of the House Skrel party. I have a small gift, what I'd like to deliver to Prince Oberyn at his earliest convenience. If such a meeting could be arranged, how would one go about that?
In the brief conversation that you have here, the page describes the good appointment to see Solar. He is obviously here at court now. Meeting him in public may not be the way to go, but once the day at court is done, he is likely to return to his office. So he suggests if you'd like to wait there, or
that sounds ideal. And he'll kind of root around in his pouch and hand the page like 5 silver stags, just as a little like, I appreciate your help and your discretion. And flashes a big old smile with a lot of teeth and walks to the Solars.
right, make
Goes to wait.
make a quick persuasion test. I'll let you ignore your flaw because of the coin that you just gave.
Blessings. Ooh, that's actually an 8. Better than my 2.
You think it pretty likely that, but you never.
Yeah.
And yeah,
What I can do.
you're able to wait, and shortly, the morning court session doesn't last too much longer. You get the idea that being out and dealing with people being in front of everyone is tiresome and taxing for Prince Doran's physicality, and he takes his breaks early and comes back from them. So, when court adjourns, people start to filter out the doors and carried by several servants on a small palanquin, and carried out of the room. And Prince Oberyn, you are able to follow with your eyes, make your way out of a side door and hallway, where you are able to set him way to far. The page kind of told you whereabouts.
Bless him.
He moving down the hall alone, still in full armor, with his helmet underneath one. Walking up to you, looks up, makes eye contact. Yes, one of Skrel party.
Correct you are, sir. If it please you, my lord, I would offer you a small gift from our island, given to me by the Lord Skrel himself for your hands and eyes only.
Eyes only?
Oh.
I noticed you didn't present it at court.
Correct. I have been instructed that discretion is the better part of valor, as it were, and you have to understand, I come from much poorer stock than this. I am well and out of my element here. Acting as a messenger even is uncommon for someone like myself. So I wish to do no harm and employ no injury, if I can help it. But, that said, my Lord Baylor Skrel did present me with this, and he pulls out, I forget if it was just the one bottle or a collection of vials, but...
Yeah, since you don't remember, I'll refresh real quick.
Sure, if I can
Baylor Skrel handed you 3 vials that
that's right.
contain a black viscous liquid. And he told you what it does. That if any of this makes contact with broken skin, death is certain. It will be a painful, agonizing death, but it is certain. He gave you 3 vials. One, he suggested that you keep for yourself, should you wish to use it. And 2, that he intended as a gift for Prince Oberyn. 1, so that he could test it to see that it was what you are claiming it is. And then 1 use. So,
right, that's right.
That is what he gave.
So Raduva pulls 2 of these vials from his pack and very firmly but gently, offers them out. These are...
Oh no. The rain got him. Cut down.
Yes.
That
door is the narrator. Zoomed in Martan.
Hey!
Hey!
There he
Yeah,
is. He's back. All
the
right,
power's
so...
been flickering pretty rough here.
Yeah, before you pull these out, as you're kind of saying all of it, Prince Oberyn says, "Well, gifts from a foreign land."
What a creep. No. You're too kind. We are of humble means in Skrel, but we do try and make sure that those that we favor are treated well. He pulls out 2 of these vials and sort of presents them. These were made through research by my Lord Skrel. They are potent. They are painful. They ensure a quick death. Now, if this is not something that you find particularly enticing or appetizing, I understand. I have no love for the work myself some days, but it was intended to be a gift for you to do as you see fit with. If that something is to throw them out and be done with it, we understand. But I hope that they are of use to you and aid you in a time of need.
He takes them in his hand and examines one, kind of holds it up to light, looks through it, and say that death is certain. What did he make it from?
Well,
Sure, if you remember. If you want, you can
I
make
sure
a knowledge
fucking
test.
don't.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the process of testing. I don't know that Raduva was ever told what it exactly
I don't know
it
if
is.
I told you, yeah. So you may just need to make the test anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I can make a knowledge test. I'm happy to do that. So what I remember is that it was given to Raduva, it was explained to Raduva, but the actual fundamentals of it were not. And it has been now long enough since the testing and experimentation that Raduva was involved in that he sure as fuck wouldn't remember. So let me roll knowledge and see. That's not terrible. That's an 8.
8? Yeah.
Could be worse.
You worked with Lord Baylor in creating this substance.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that it is primarily made from manticore. It has been thickened somehow. Lord Baylor found a way to thicken it and make it a little bit slower acting. And indeed, as you kind of explain that little bit of the process to Prince Oberyn, he nods. Seems like he understands a bit of this process. Think back to his knowledge at the Citadel and his poison. Makes sense. And after a moment, Hunnings, yes? Maybe what you say.
House Skrel is pleased that we are of use to you, sir.
You see very dark. Thank you. Remember you.
Of course. You do us great honor, sir.
Nods down the hallway, putting the files away.
Raduva kind of watches him go, and then, when an appropriate amount of time has passed, turns and makes his own way back to the rooms that they're staying in.
All right, yeah. You come back, and it is a suite that you guys have been given. It is a series of rooms that you all kind of share in the palace. You have been given some apartments here. Everyone has their own room to sleep in, with beds. Everyone's bedroom has a window in it. There is a living dining area, and there are refreshments laid out. The smell of incense fills the rooms, and the fresh fruits on the tables. There is a flagon of wine with several looks to be filled glasses that are on the tables. Smell the spices, herbs on the table. It's quite nice. And the lot of you are able to stay here. You have not yet met with adults to discuss the situation there.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
too.
But let's see. Also approach 10. You guys want to kind of close up, or are you all wanting to keep going?
Yeah, let's meet the adults in the morning.
Yeah.
Morning. Save that for the next time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah. Once we're in the suite,
All right. Yeah.
I wanted that to go better.
I uncork the wine.
And everybody
pour
can see that I am
glasses.
not pleased with myself.
Yeah, I uncork the wine and pour glasses.
Walk over to the fruit. Is there any fruit there that I would not have had before? Exotic?
There are, well, not any fruit that you wouldn't have had before. You do notice a lot more lemons in general than you are used to seeing on the table. And you know that in the South in general, southern climates are better for lemon trees. So it makes sense that there would be a lot more lemons here. Citrus fruits in general. Let's see, what are some fruits? I'm not going to look that up. You see.
What are all
from-
the
Let's all name a fruit
from
that we
all
know.
over the Seven Kingdoms.
Let's all name a fruit that we know.
Blood oranges
Island.
and
Papaya.
lemons, limes, dates, all sorts. So yeah, you were able to drink your fill, and bed down for the evening. Is there anything anyone wants to take care of before we close out the session?
Oh, there you think of.
All right.
I got my thing done.
Mhm.
I kind of I get Nicholas. Nicholas, don't let that happen again. Just put it on him.
Putting all the blame on Nicholas. Make
Not really all of it on him, but he's the only person I can really be like, that
Make
I was unprepared for it.
make
Me and
a
Badru are just standing together. You walk up and tell him, and I just start shaking my head. And just,
what did
walk
I
away.
didn't do. Oh,
Correct,
yes,
Nicholas.
yes, Lord. All right.
You didn't, but
Now, to
I
be
didn't know
fair,
that would go so poor.
to
Well,
be
you
fair,
only,
That was terrible for me.
yes. Well, you only swore to serve with your bodies, you know, and mine. Or we'll be fine. Glad I.
And then I look over. I was just like, at least you have.
At least I have a Badru. Yes.
well, our heads are still attached to our necks, so it could have gone much worse.
I'm like handing wine in the glass to two people as this is happening. That definitely could have gone better, but it could have gone much, much worse.
Anyone you can walk away from.
Indeed. And I think that is where we will close it tonight.
Everyone
Next time
freeze
we
frame.
will pick up with the venture out to Lemonwood to see the
Hell yeah.
troubles at Lemonwood
Yeah.
and deal with the bandits there. So
Make
Um,
lemonade.
make some lemonade. All right. I guess we're freeze framing. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. We will be back soon with the next one.
I gotta blink!